Okay, could we get going? We're 3 minutes behind. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Summit 2023. It's the first time we're hosting a technical conference outside of Calgary after a decade on an annual basis. Many familiar faces from our research chair programs worldwide, at least 6 countries. And of course, new faces here as well in the region. So we're happy to be here. My name is Andrew Seto, the moderator of the program. Certainly glad to be at The Hague. Really nice facilities. This is a floor plan. Before I move on to other things, we need to talk a little bit more about emergency exits. The tables are round, but of course you have a rectangular tables. So on your left-hand side, my right-hand side where the logo is, you go out and go around the room. It's going to be where our poster session will be. We have our day one posters posted behind on the other side. So that's during the 1 hour break in between sessions. There'll be 2 microphones, actually 2 microphones here for questions, Q&As after the presentations. So the layout is that we are here in this Energy Simulations 2023 Summit. Emergency exits are actually, you go straight out and I guess you turn left and there are a set of stairs to take you all the way down to the main floor and exit out of the building. So it's relatively straightforward. Washroom is going out and around to the other side. Just one major washroom that could help. That's pretty well straightforward layout. And we don't have any planned emergency or planned exercise. So if you hear anything, I guess we should get out of this building. So once again, my name is Andrew Seto, the VP of Technology for Energy Simulation. The host behind the scene, the co-host, Ricardo Garza, our VP Operations, and Anita Monica, who is our admin assistant. So for our online audience, good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening or good night. You see the Zoom meeting at the bottom. You are muted as an online audience. You can post your questions, Q&A online during the presentations. Any issues in terms of sound, whatnot, hopefully we could help address that as well. You can raise your hand. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward for online audience. So we're pleased to have 13 of our professors. We sponsor 13 chairs in 10 different cities, or 10 universities worldwide, across the Atlantic Ocean. So historically, our head office, one office here, headquartered in Calgary. Historically, we organize our technical summit, 2-day summit in Calgary. So this is the first time we actually venture out and fly across the pond to see you guys in the region so that people in this time zone can attend these sessions and see what energy transition may entail and what our research chairs could do in that regard. So our theme for the session is decarbonizing towards net zero. And some of you may have seen this everything, everywhere, all at once. So it's the Oscar-winning Best Picture back in March this year. But a week later, that statement came from the UN Secretary General saying that our world needs climate action on all fronts, everything, everywhere, all at once. It is quite fitting in that not one silver bullet or solution can solve the problem or addressing the net zero target by 2050. And that's why we're here today, to hear some of the ideas that our researchers are working on. Now, not to lose sight on the oil and gas aspect, because we believe that it's going to be critical in terms of supplying stable energy for the world. So this is from McKinsey and Company report back in early this year, January 2023, talking about the amount of investment that may entail. The current spending is about total at the bottom here is $5.7 trillion, be it low emission or high emission, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of physical assets for energy and land use. They forecast that the new spending for on low emissions assets and on enabling infrastructure would be about $3.5 trillion for a total of 9.2 total annual spending if we're going to meet the net zero target. So I cannot count fast enough to what that $1 trillion would mean, but in total though, it will be $275 trillion during the period of the 30 years, 2021 to 2050. And that's a lot of money. So we have the people, we have the technology, or developing new technologies. And there's a lot of money, but the thing is they got to find the right projects to invest in. And when we call investment, you expect some sort of return. So hence, there are projects like geothermal or CCUS that you probably at the moment will require government funding, subsidy, but down the road it would be, I guess, amenable in terms of getting investment supporting those initiatives. So there's a lot of money to be invested. You look at the bottom, $2.7 trillion. That's the high emission ones. You can call it oil and gas, but the energy transition aspect of it would be a lot of money to be spent. Do we have the people? Yeah, we do, but a lot of people are retiring. There's people avoiding oil and gas and others. So you just have to find your place, find your home, where to go. But shouldn't be much of a problem in terms of incentives coming. So we look at the global investment in clean energy and fossil fuels. The dark blue ones is fossil fuels, and the light blue is the clean energy from 2015 to 2023. So it's pretty well steady up until 2020 when we have this pandemic. The dark blue oil and gas investment dropped to, by probably 30% or so. From 2020 to 2023, you see a rise in $1.26 trillion to $1.74 trillion, a 38% increase in the clean energy space in investment, global investments. Oil and gas is not too bad either, 25% over the 3 years, 0.84 to 1.05. So as I was saying, do not lose sight on oil and gas. We're not talking about exploring new oil and gas, but we're more looking at what do you do to enhance the recovery of the oil or gas that you've got without expanding your carbon footprint, and looking at ways to minimize the carbon footprint. So suffice to say that energy transition would have an element of oil and gas, and in fact, any clean energy as well. That would be CO2 sequestration, geothermal, hydrogen, and what have you. And they're going to come. So you're going to be hearing quite a bit from our chairs about what they're working on. That would be of interest to the industry. So over the next 2 days, 24th, 25th, we have technical symposium, which the majority of you will be interested. We also host our annual general meeting where our board of directors will be elected, and our president, Duke Anderson, will chair that session for half an hour today. And then we have 2 days of technical school that we offer to our research students from the 10 universities. And that's especially for them to be held at the TU Delft. So for day one, we have 6 technical presentations and a technical luncheon by a keynote speaker from EBN on the integrated reservoir modeling case study storing CO2 in a depleted gas field in the Netherlands. I think that's something extremely practical for us to see how it's done and the activities that's being done in the Netherlands. So From the Harriet University, Dr. Ernest Goge is supposed to talk about the modeling of viscous fingering. Unfortunately, he suffered from a stomach infection. He couldn't make it, so he's got a student, Paulo Chang, to speak on his behalf. And in fact, this is a paper that just won the Best Student Paper Award earlier in October, also at The Hague at the IOR Plus conference. So you probably enjoy that. And as I mentioned, there's a luncheon. We'll probably have lunch from 1 to 1:30. You can take your time, but then we'll start to talk at 1:30 for about half an hour before the afternoon session. Also, John Chen at 12:30 from Canada, from University of Calgary. His mother has been ill, and he got to stay around. So we'll have Stephen Samoil, who's an associate of his, to make his presentation on reservoir simulation based on machine learning and that kind of thing. So it's going to be quite interesting, where we'll be hearing quite a bit today about CCUS, oil and gas, and geomechanics, which encompass a lot of work helping all the energy transition in subsurface modeling. On day 2, similar to day 1, other than we wouldn't have the AGM, so we have 7 presentations that you can easily see from the agenda. I'm not going to expand any more on that. Other than the technical luncheon, the luncheon to be given by Mark Stolinger on the Rotterdam, Europe's hydrogen hub. So there's a lot of money invested in hydrogen, and they have the infrastructure, and that would be some experience to learn from how it can be done elsewhere. So it's going to be quite interesting talk. So as I mentioned, there's a technical school for our students, and we thank 7 of our professors who put the course together for them. So before going ahead to the presentations, each presentation will be about 20 minutes long, so I encourage our online audience to post their Q&A questions online within that time, so I can track and which questions to ask. For the audience here in person, there are 2 microphones. You just line up, and I'll call upon you to raise the question, and our professors will provide the answers. And the Q&A will be 10 minutes. And for those the questions we couldn't answer, have sufficient time to answer, we'll provide answers to them through email. So if you can state your name and affiliates, we can probably track you down and provide the answers. Okay,